is because in some ways and somehow we're dealing with lack. We feel like we lack something. We feel like we don't have something, or we don't have what somebody else has. And we got to get out of that thinking that we need what somebody else got, because we never know what they did to get it, number one, and we never know that if God has it for them, whether we can even handle it or whether it is even something we should have. Just because somebody has something that you don't have don't mean you should have it, because it might not be for you. Because everything that is for somebody else is not always for you. What God has for you is for who? Come on, somebody. What God has for you is for you. Some of us want to drive something major, and some of us want to live in major houses, but we ain't got the money to pay to live there. And if we did live there, we'll go broke trying to pay for it. We've got to thank God for what we have, because when we thank God for what we have, he'll give us the avenue to get the greater things that he has in store for us. But we can't get greater if we're stuck in complaining about where we are. I'm so tired of living from paycheck to paycheck. Then stop going to McDonald's. I'm so tired of looking at everybody else get what I don't have. Then stop looking at what they have. I'm so tired of everybody getting promoted and I'm still in the same place. When you celebrate where you are, it creates avenue for promotion. Somebody say amen to that. Because if you keep complaining about where you are, that means you're not thankful for where you are. I'm tired of this dead-end job. But when you start dressing up, getting yourself in that dead-end job that you think it is, sit down at your desk or sit down wherever you are, put a smile on your face and start thanking God for that job, you will realize that that job opens up avenues for you to get to the next job. But if you nasty and mean and surly and complaining and talking and telling everybody else what you don't want and what you need, God closes doors until you recognize how blessed you are. And you don't want to be behind a door that God has closed. Because when God closes a door, no man, I don't care how many references you got, no man can open it. Tell somebody, be thankful for where you are. When you're thankful for where you are, God can open up doors, and then you got to make the declaration and make the decision to follow God and to make a statement to the world and to yourself, I lack nothing. Come on, say that with me. I lack nothing. Come on, say it one more time. I lack nothing. You've got to believe that in your heart, and you've got to decree that over your mind, and you've got to decree that in your life, and everything that you come into, you've got to make that declaration, I lack nothing. Come on, say it one more time. You know why you lack nothing? Because the Lord is your. How many people believe that the Lord is your shepherd? If you believe that, say, I believe that. Come on, if you believe it, say, I believe it. If you know that God is your shepherd, then the next part of that says what? I shall. Do you believe that God is a liar? Y'all believe God is a liar? Do you believe God tells the truth? So if you believe that God tells the truth and you know that God says that he got what you need, if God says I got it, then why you complain about what you don't have? Because if God says it, you shouldn't be questioning what God already told you. I'm going to provide for you. Say it one more time. I lack nothing. Come on, say it like you mean it. I lack nothing. So if the enemy is attacking you, it must mean that God believes you can handle it. I wish I could talk to somebody in here. If it ain't no trouble going on in your life, it must mean God needs you to hold over for a little while. But if you've been through trouble, if you've been through trial, if you got tribulation, if you got sickness in your body, if you got stuff that you know you need to bring to God, it's because the Lord said, yeah, he can handle it. She can handle it because I've already given them everything they need to fight it. So all you got to do is open up your mouth and declare to the devil, I lack nothing because the Lord is my shepherd. Hit me with your best shot. I'm already prepared. So stop calling everybody else and telling them what you're going through. Stop telling everybody else, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Stop telling everybody, I don't know how it's going to turn out. You know how it's going to turn out because God has already worked it out. And while you're trying to figure it out, he's already given permission to the devil to attack you because he already has a plan to bring you out. Tell your neighbor, I lack nothing. So you should start thanking God when you are in trouble. You should start praising God when things fall apart. You should say, Lord, you know what? I sure do thank you for counting me faithful enough to come through this mess that the devil thought he was going to make me lose my mind. You need to start talking jump to the enemy and say, you thought I was going to give up. You thought I was going to throw in the towel. You thought I was going to run away. But greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. If God brought me to it, he's already going to bring me. Tell somebody next to you, I lack. Here are three things and then we're done. Number one, if you're going to make that declaration, you got to believe in God, in who he is by himself. And whatever he says, he always comes through on it. We're the one to get it wrong. God didn't give me that job. Did God tell you he was going to give you the job? You probably just ate too much that night because you wanted God to tell you that, but you ain't listening to what God is saying. A lot of times we talking to God, we ain't listening to nothing. God, I want. God heal. God deliver. God set free. Amen. And we ain't spent no time listening to what God has to say to you. Don't you get people to talk that talk to you all the time? You get talking, they don't let you get a word in edgewise. You get you want to get in, but every time they got, and then when somebody else come on this side, they just are talking, and you want to say something by the time, I run into that around here all the time. Sometimes I want to say something, but so many people say something to me, then this person come talk while that person talking, and you don't know who to listen to, because they're just talking at the same time, and Pastor, I need prayer, Pastor, I need, show up in the hospital, show up, you about going crazy, pray for this, pray for that, and you don't know who to look at. God is saying, why don't you shut up and let me talk to you, because you need my answer. I know what you need, but you won't let me say nothing in order to provide what you need. Just a talking. I'm so, how long, God? How long? Oh, long suffering, God. I've been here for 10 years, and you might need to be there for 11. But trust God until he brings you through. And trust in his word. Somebody say trust in his word. Tell somebody his word. You got to stay committed to his word. Stop just reading it and not being doers. Hearers. You know, we hear something for everybody else all the time, don't we? I know who that was for. I wish they were here, because if they needed to hear this message. And every time you put your mouth together to say that, God is saying, no, you need it. I know who the Reverend talking about today. I know who he talking about. Get on him. Preach it, Pastor. They know better. Preach it, Pastor. And you just the unfaithfulest thing, just talking and just talking. Ain't living nothing. Let me write that down. I'm going to buy that DVD and give it to my prayer partner, because she needs to hear this, and you ain't heard nothing on it. I'm going to take this to my supervisor, because I'm so tired of them talking to me in a kind of way and dirty. I'm going to make sure they know. And God is saying, I wanted you to hear this. Because I don't care how much hell the supervisor is giving you, you got to know how to handle what's coming your way. God has said, I'm working on you. I put you in that place so that you could bring something and learn something out of it, and also bring something to it. I don't know how I got up in here, God.